Alright, it is 9:30, guys. Let's go ahead and get everything started with our first episode of ESO Recapped with Defatank, brought to you by Great Architect. We just want to welcome everybody to this first episode. Basically, what we're going to be doing with this video series is recapping everything that we know about the Elder Scrolls Online in small points. Give you the meat and potatoes of what you need to know about the game and what to expect. Let you guys give some feedback and questions that you may have about each episode, and then also at the end of each episode let everyone give some suggestions or comments on what they would like to see in future videos. So to kick things off, as most of you know, last week we finally got a release date for the Elder Scrolls Online for the PC and Mac. It is 4/4/2014. For the consoles, which is Xbox One and the PS4, they're going to see the game a little bit later in 2014. It's set for June of 2014. We've currently not been given a solid release date for those consoles yet, but it's definitely coming to the next-gen consoles. I want to start things off with just a very basic question of what is the Elder Scrolls Online? With the new release date, you know, a lot of new people has come on board, and they're taking a look at everything with the Elder Scrolls Online. They hear it. It's something a lot of people has really wanted in the series. It's the Elder Scrolls Online, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It is the Elder Scrolls Online. So you're going to get an Elder Scrolls game, and it's also going to be built like an MMO or an online RPG. That's what ZeniMax is really going with, as an online RPG, and I think it fits the game perfectly. As I was just saying, ZeniMax is the company that is developing this game, particularly ZeniMax Online Studios, which is a sister company of Bethesda GameWorks. So don't get confused that Bethesda is making this game. ZeniMax Online Studios is actually making the game, and they're working with Bethesda to ensure that the lore and everything is up to snuff and correct with the Elder Scrolls series. The game takes place 1,000 years before the events of Skyrim, so you're actually going to be rolling back in the Elder Scrolls Online before the events of the first installment of the Elder Scrolls games, which is Arena. It goes way back. Here's something else that a lot of people, I don't think, is really grasp about the Elder Scrolls Online. Players are going to have access to all of Tamriel. All right, we've had, you know, Skyrim, which is just Skyrim, Morrowind, which was Morrowind, and of course we always wanted to explore these other zones. In the Elder Scrolls Online, you're going to be able to explore all the previous zones that have been mentioned in the lore series. Now I'm going to go ahead and break these down for you guys. They're broken up into 3 different alliances and 1 contested territory. The first is going to be the Aldmeri Dominion. Those zones that the Aldmeri Dominion control will be Elsewhere, Somerset Isles, and Valenwood. The next alliance is the Daggerfall Covenant. They will control Hammerfell and High Rock. The third alliance is the Ebonheart Pact. The Ebonheart Pact will control Blackmarsh, Morrowind, and Skyrim. Lastly, the contested territory is Cyrodiil, which a lot of you may remember is from the 4th installment of the Elder Scrolls series, Oblivion. We're going to have the entire world of Cyrodiil, that entire zone, as our Alliance War. And I'll go into more detail about the Alliance War in future videos. But just to kind of wrap your brain around the size and the magnitude of this game that we're looking at, is take Oblivion, that entire game, and throw it into the Elder Scrolls Online, and then add all the other zones on top of that. It's massive. I want to go ahead and bring up a map of what you're actually looking at. This is kind of what you're going to be expecting to see. It may not be exactly to detail with what we're going to see in the Elder Scrolls Online, but it will probably be very close. As I was saying, Cyrodiil all of that is controlled by nobody, really. I mean, that's what your alliances are fighting over. I want to bring up another screen here. This gives you a view of what you can expect the alliances to control. In the northeast, that's all of your Ebonheart Pact. Northwest is your Daggerfall Covenant. Southwest is your Aldemary Dominion. And of course, they're all fighting for control over Cyrodiil. Now, the next thing that I want to get into is we're going to bring up this video. This is from the character creation video that was released recently. And a lot of people are going to ask, well, what characters can I actually play in the Elder Scrolls Online? You're going to have a choice of 9 races in the Elder Scrolls Online. Imperials is not going to be in the Elder Scrolls Online, but what you will have access to is it's going to be broken down 3 races per alliance. So first you're going to have the Aldemary Dominion that will have the Khajiit, which is a feline race from Elsewhere, the High Elf, which is an elven race from Somerset Isles, and the Wood Elf, which is an elven race from Valenwood. The Daggerfall Covenant, they're going to have the Red Guards, human race from Hammerfell, the Bretons, which is a human race from High Rock, and the Orc, which is an orcish race from High Rock. Lastly, you're going to have the Ebonheart Pact, which is going to have Argonians, which is a reptilian race from Blackmarsh, Dark Elves, which is an elven race from Morrowind, and Nords, which are a human race from Skyrim. I want to hone in on a section of this video that's coming up here in just a second so you guys can really get a good overview of these character races and get a really good look at all of them. So I'm going to pause this video at 1:40. Let's just skip this up to 1:40. Alright, so in the top left up here, these are your Bretons. Next is your Argonians. Then you got your Khajiits, the Wood Elves in the top right, your Dark Elves in the bottom left, Red Guards are next, followed by the Wood Elf, followed by the Orc. And if you notice, there's not a Nord on there, but if we roll this back to about 1:30, I'll show you the Nord. I think I missed it. Yeah, there's your Nord. Pretty basic as far as, you know, what you can expect from Skyrim to Elder Scrolls Online. They look very similar. A lot better textures in the Elder Scrolls Online, honestly. I mean, they look amazing. So we'll go ahead and let this video continue to roll. The next thing we want to get into is just what kind of classes can you play in the Elder Scrolls Online. A lot of people, especially MMO players, that's something instantly they want to know is, what kind of class am I going to play? With the Elder Scrolls Online, you're going to have 4 classes. Those classes break down into a Dragon Knight, which is going to be something very similar to a Warrior. The Nightblade, which is like your Rogue or Stealth type class. The Sorcerer, which is your Mage. And a Templar, which is like a Support or a Cleric type class. So a lot of people is going to immediately ask, okay, well, why is there only 4 classes in the game? That's kind of lame and seems low. Well, in all honesty, it's not, and I'm going to tell you why. I'll let this next video roll while we get into classes. The reason 4 classes is not short is because players are going to have access to a multitude of skill lines, and this is extremely important. Basically, what skill lines are is a line of skills or abilities that you will come across as you play the game. Alright? And I'm going to break these down in just a moment. But when you start getting into these other skill lines, you can pick which abilities out of these skill lines appeal to you, that you want to use. These skill lines will help people play the Elder Scrolls Online just how they want to play. So whenever you pick that Dragon Knight, you know, don't get in the mindset of, I'm going to have to play like a warrior for the entirety of this character. It's not going to be nothing like that. Let's break these skill lines down here real quick. First, we're going to have racial skill lines, which your racial skill line is given to you based on the one of 9 races that you select. Alright? The class skill line is given to you based on the one of the 4 classes that you select. Your weapons skill line, and this is where things really start to broaden out. There are currently 6 different weapon types in the game. You've got 2-handed weapons, 1-handed and shield, dual wield, bow, destruction staff, and restoration staff. So based on what weapon you decide to start using, you can gain skills from those weapons skill lines. Next, you're going to have armor skill lines. There are 3 armor types in the game. You've got light armor, medium armor, and heavy armor. Again, based on what types of armor you want to wear, you can level up those skills and put points, skill points, into these skill lines and get better perks or abilities for that types of armor. Here's something to note for both your weapons and your armor skill lines. Regardless of what character, race, or class that you pick, any player can use any weapon type, any armor type in the game. The armors, something else to note with the armor, just because you pick a Dragon Knight does not mean you're going to be forced into using nothing but heavy armor because it's a warrior. If you want to use all light armor, you can use light armor. It's completely fine. See, Panda is saying, Nick Conkle also reported saying classes were chosen to give players a more social experience, where you need to team up more often to cover each other's bases. Yeah, I mean, that's something else too with the classes, that I know something came up with that, and I'll go into that here in just a few minutes after we get through the points. Let's go back to the armors, like I was saying with the Dragon Knight. You know, you're not sworn to nothing but heavy armor if you're a Dragon Knight. Or if you pick a sorcerer, you're not sworn to nothing but light armor for the entirety of its lifespan. If you want to mix and match heavy armor, medium armor, and light armor, that's fine. You use what weapon you want to use. You use what armor you want to use. Next, you're going to have guild skill lines. There's going to be NPC guilds in the game. You're going to have the Fighters Guild, the Mages Guild, Undaunted, and then there's also going to be additional guilds coming later on in the game, such as the Thieves Guild and the Dark Brotherhood. And that's going to bring a justice system into the game once they launch those as well. Again, more information in future videos with that. Next is going to be Alliance War skill lines. Alright, these skill lines are primarily geared towards the Alliance War with PvP. Again, more details with the Alliance War I will give in future videos. But again, just note, that's just another avenue of abilities that you can use for your character. Next is going to be Vampire and Werewolf skill lines. Players will be able to play as a vampire or a werewolf if they so choose. You cannot be both at the same time. And just because you choose one doesn't mean you're forced to stay that for the entire time. Nick Conkle did confirm that there is a way to back out of these skill lines. Something else to note is ZeniMax has been really tight-lipped on these skill lines and what they release about them. They want it to be something that you experience and learn how to get into these skill lines. So it's definitely going to take some work to get into those, but it's going to be interesting just to see how you get to it. It's apparently very special. Another set of skill lines is going to be crafting. Again, they've been redoing some stuff with crafting. I don't know where they're at with it now or how everything's set up, but they have said that you can use your skill points and put it into crafting. You know, if you want to become a master craftsman, that's fine. You can put all of your points into crafting if that's what you want to do. But we'll go into more about crafting down the road as well. Again, though, that's just another avenue of skill lines. So as you can see, there is a multitude of skill lines and there is a ton of abilities. I was looking at Tamriel Foundry the other day, and there was a post over there about skills and abilities, and they gave a number of about 105 different abilities in the game right now with all these skill lines. So it's a huge range of abilities that you can have. Now, that's really where I wanted to stop with this first video. I know it's quite a bit of information I've thrown out there, but in the next video, I want to go a little bit deeper into, skills, the UI, how that stuff's going to look on your screen and how you're putting these abilities out there, combat, how you can expect combat to feel, and resources. Also, any kind of questions anybody has or comments about this episode, or any suggestions that you guys want to see in future episodes, definitely let me know what you guys want to see, or anything that we can do to improve the quality of these episodes, because I want it to be something that people are very clear on what they're getting. So right now what I want to do is open up everything to the Twitch channel. If there's anybody in the channel right now that is just totally deer in the headlights, confused about what you've just heard on the points that I just went over, definitely let me know something now so I can address it, and we'll make sure that you understand it. Okay, so far I don't see any kind of questions coming up. I know that this episode was really basic, and that's the way that I want to start this series out, is keep everything very basic. I want everybody to make sure that they're on par with everybody whenever they step into this game. Going back to Pandlement, mentioning about Nick Conkle reported saying classes were chosen to give players more social experience, need to team up more often to cover each other's bases. Yeah, those classes really help you define who your character is, first off. I know that something came up on the Facebook page the other day about a guy that was really interested in getting every single skill ability in the game, and with the skill lines the way that they're laid out, yes, you can get just about every single skill line in the game, but I do not think that you're going to be able to get access to those starter skill lines. So if I choose a Dragon Knight, I don't think you can get into, say, the Sorcerer's core skill lines. But as a Dragon Knight, if I wanted to pick up a Destruction Staff, I'm sure that's going to come with some sort of spells. Mage's Guild, I'm sure that that's going to also have some association with spells. So I mean, just because you didn't choose a sorcerer does not mean you cannot use spells. They want to open this thing up where people can actually use what they want to use. Of course, as a spellcaster, a sorcerer is definitely going to be better at casting spells than a Dragon Knight would, per se, or a Nightblade or whatever. But it's not to say that they cannot use it. Is there any other questions, comments, concerns that anybody has off the first episode? Alrighty, well, like I said, episode 2, we'll go a little bit deeper into abilities and the UI, combat, try to touch on resources, and also if anybody has any comments, suggestions, or anything on what you've seen in episode 1, definitely let me know, and we'll work on it. Try to get it in there. Maybe going over how this MMO will be different than past MMOs. Yes, that's a very good. That's a very good one. I'm actually going to put that one down. That's a good suggestion, and I appreciate it. That's really how I want this video series to run. You know, is I want user interactions. You know, I want to know what people is completely confused about, or what they really want the most information about. You know, and like I said, for the guys that are in here right now that are watching, you know, just try to understand. I'm trying to stay really basic right now to get the people that are just clueless about this game up to speed, and then we'll get into the more advanced questions, you know, weeks down the road. Well, I definitely appreciate everybody that stopped in for the stream and stuck around, listened to me ramble on. But I'll be back next Saturday. We'll do episode 2, get in a little bit more in depth. We'll get this video uploaded to YouTube as well for the replay in case anybody missed it. And like I said, also leave plenty of free feedback on what you've seen with episode 1.